Everybody, it's Victor. It's time for another Eden Run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Thursday, Mosh Pit. I hope your Thursdays are going off to a fantastic start here in the early weekend. And we have a fantastic picture/meme of the day sent in here by a longtime member of the Mosh Pit, Garth Shark. And very fittingly for this tattoo, on the title of the thread was a shark appreciation post by Garth Shark. And in the thread, he said, Sin mentioned that threshers are one of his favorite shark species, so I figured he might appreciate my tattoo of one. They're by far my favorites because of those lovable faces they have. Yeah, and that is a very good depiction, an excellent depiction of a thresher shark. And you can see exactly how big those whip tails are, like I was talking about a couple days ago. And, you know, I've never really paid too much attention to their face being cute, but I've always thought they look very unique. So yeah, so that and the blue shark, man. Look at the blue shark too, because I guess in a way they have kind of similar faces. Zulu, Quebec, Mike, Yankee, Juliet, Foxtrot, Kilo. I swear to God, I've had this seed before. We got a Burkana rune, and we also have a Curse for the XL. Now, some people going on Curse the XLs, here we go again. I have to explain it every single time, because inevitably whenever we're talking about a Curse the XL, someone's like, what are you talking about? You don't lose a devil deal if you get 2 floors. You don't automatically lose anything. It's like, okay, so let's break this down. So first off, the comments that say you don't lose a devil deal for XL floor, that's only true in this scenario where we have one on the starting floor. So technically we're on floor 2 right now, okay? So that is the only permissible time in terms of strictly speaking with the devil deal. Now, on the subject of you don't lose anything, that is just categorically incorrect. We have already lost 1 shop, 1 secret room, 1 super secret room, and any special spawns that we may have had, like a curse room or a sack room or library, something like that. All because we started off on floor 2. We have skipped floor 1. So think of all the rooms that you would see on a floor, on any given floor, and then say you don't get any of that, right? Other than the item room. I'm not speaking about the item room. And yes, you do still get 2 boss items. Now, in another scenario, and this is the one that's a little bit more frequent because, you know, you don't start with XL floors all that often. The ones that do appear during mid run. So let's say that the next floor, let's say that we just had floor 1, hey, look, we did it good. Floor 2, hey, we got a devil deal, cool, we did it good. We get to floor 3 and all of a sudden, curse the XL, blah, 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 blah. If we get in this hypothetical scenario, which we've seen many times, which triggers this discussion. If we see that scenario come to fruition, essentially what happens is, okay, we have skipped floor 3 and we are now on floor 4. Yes, we still get a second item room. Yes, we still get a second boss. That's not the concern here. The concern here is the loss of the devil deal. Now, if you truly feel that we don't lose a devil deal by skipping 1 floor, I would like you to say hello to every single time we've gotten a devil deal or an angel deal on floor 3. Okay, even at the lowest possible percentage, without taking red heart damage that we could get, the lowest percentage that we could get after the second floor is going to be 33.8%. That is a fact. If we pass that, yes, obviously we get a devil deal. If we didn't pass it, then no, we don't get a devil deal. But the point is that for XL floors, they take that away from you. So you don't even get a chance, the 33.4 or 33.8% chance to get a devil deal, because they've completely taken that away from you. They said, nope, you don't get a floor 3, you only get a floor 4. So in conclusion, I don't really get how people don't understand that. I've explained it the same way. I don't even know how many times now. But the only reason why I even talk about it now is because there was another comment not that long ago talking about, you know, I don't know what you mean. We don't lose a devil deal at all. Just looking for stuff to complain about. It's like, no, we're not. There's definitely reasons. And hey, look, I'm open to discussion. I would love to hear the rebuttal. I'd love to hear someone explain to me how getting an XL floor does not remove your chance of getting a devil deal on the first of the floors, right? So floor 3, floor 5, floor 1. But floor 1 doesn't count because obviously we start with it. But, man, we've got a lot of HP here. We have terrible tears rate, bad movement speed, good damage. Thanks to starting with Dad's ring, or Mom's ring. Range is very bad. Shot speed is on point. And our luck is negative. So there's definite rooms for improvement here. But I think that we can manage. I'm a bit surprised that the super secret room is not there. It can only be here now. I will take the Eternal Heart. There is a 0% chance that we lose it on this floor. Unless we somehow got a Bone Heart thrown at us, but I'm not even going to mess with Ragman. Don't even feel like it. I could go back and get an Empress card, but I can't be bothered. It's only Gurglings. We have some Locust of Death with us, so they should pretty much murk everything in here, and we get Booster back. 2 clubs, 2 of hearts, 2 of spades, High Priestess, and the regular tower card. Do that. Maybe we get some bombs that aren't troll bombs. Okay. 3 glitter bombs for us. And we're going to head on down to the next floor. Obviously, last week, a majority of the discussion was around the fact that the video did not release on time. In fact, it was 3.5 hours late. I do not know why that happened again. The last time that happened, it was 2 hours late. I scheduled everything like I've been doing for 15 years in counting, more than 15 years. And there's no reason that I can see for it. Everything was scheduled. The thumbnail was there. Everything was good. It just didn't release at all. I had to manually release it, and I didn't know that there was a problem until I woke up to a ton of text messages and a ton of Discord pings from my moderators, all wondering where the hell the video was. And even Alex had texted me worried about me as if something had gone wrong. Look, I'm very thankful for everyone who tried to reach out to my moderators to express their concern. Why wasn't there a video? I know that's highly unusual, but let's not jump to conclusions like something catastrophic happened to me. I asked the Mosh Pit to. It's very flattering. It's very humbling that so many people care and that we're worried, but there's probably a logical explanation as to why a video wouldn't come out on time. In this case, it was YouTube not pushing the video for some odd reason. I don't know why. But I did get a little warm and fuzzy over how many people were sending messages and the mods were relaying messages and stuff. You know, it shows just how integral these videos are in people's everyday lives, especially the ones who don't really speak up a whole lot. There was a lot of first-time commenters who said, I never comment on this Invicta video, but I'm glad to hear that there was nothing serious. Lunch was boring without you, that sort of stuff. So it makes me feel good. But maybe not completely freak out immediately if there's a video that doesn't get around. Now, one thing I will say is that you have my permission to be concerned, to be really, really concerned. If a video doesn't go out at all, like if I straight up just miss a day, then maybe a family emergency happened, whatever. You know, I don't want to go through all the possible catastrophic scenarios here, but you know that would cause for concern. And under the most extreme circumstances, my moderators, a few of my moderators anyway, do have my personal cell phone number. So they would be able to contact me and get in touch. And my best friend also obviously has all my emergency contact stuff as well. So, yeah, that's what I would say to be a little concerned. And here we go. Life imitating discussion right now. Had we had an XL floor, we would not have gotten that angel deal. So that is a very real example of what we were talking about on the first floor. Second floor. Blind. There was a question here. There we go. Baited Kate on YouTube said, question the episode. I'm just glad you're okay. Question of the episode. Are there any mods you consider downloading that don't affect gameplay? I'd love to see a planetarium chance mod. I find it helpful. No, not really. I just don't like mods. I really don't. I've seen mods do crazy things. I've seen mods brick save files before. I'm not saying that they all do that or anything like that, but I just don't feel like messing with. If something goes wrong, like the game glitches out or whatever, and stuff gets either erased or corrupted, you know, that's something that it's just like, yeah, there's no point. I don't see any value in that. Yes, I agree that there are some very useful and awesome mods. There's a ton of mods out there that are great. But for me, I've never cared about mods at all. You know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know how difficult it was. It was like pulling teeth with me just to try to get me to do the external information mod, and that's arguably one of the best mods, if not the best mod for Isaac. But I recognize that its value in teaching as a teaching tool, and it helps me kind of bone up on definitions and coefficients and stuff of stat givers. It is a little bit cheaty when it comes to TM Trainer, though, because it flat out tells you if there's an item that's a passive or a spacebar item, but we kind of overlooked that because, you know, TM Trainer is the game cheating against you. So I consider that a little bit of a level playing field. And of course, obviously, you've got the setting that for me always resets itself with the don't identify pills that you have no access to. Now I've fixed it since the last update, and it's stayed there. I'm very thankful for that. But and that's kind of like one thing. It's just one more additional thing that I have to cross check to make sure, is there any problems here? Is it going to go wrong? Is it going to mess up recording the audio? You know, who knows? You know, it's something copyrighted. So, and it's something as little as the planetarium mod. Is it harmless? Yeah, probably harmless. It probably can't do any wrong. But at the same time, it's still just a mod. The curse, we are not able to get a curseless floor. Except for floor 3. Went from Curse the XL to Curseless Floor to Curse the Blind, and now Curse the Unknown. The big bomb fly. Yeah, a lot of people reached out and were just concerned. There was a Reddit thread that popped up, and people were wondering what was going on. There's a little bit too much speculation going on there, so I flat out just removed the thread because that kind of stuff doesn't breed anything constructive or healthy. When people start speculating, and you know, they don't, and no one was even thinking about, oh, the video just didn't go out. Maybe something goofed up on the YouTube side of things. So that's the reason why I closed that thread. And a majority of people were just wondering what was going on. No one knew anything in Discord because I was asleep. I was flat out just asleep until 3:30 that day. And what a time to have a flip schedule again. So, but now I'm on sort of a normal people schedule. I've been going to bed normally at around the 3 to 4 o'clock range, which is very early for me. And that way I can wake up around 11 a.m., noon-ish if I'm lucky, and can really get some work done. And you know, I enjoy the more normalized schedule. I don't like waking up at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. It's those days are depressing, man. So my sleep schedule's been better. And hopefully it didn't happen again. This is what I suspect is probably the culprit. Okay, let's stop losing our soul hearts here. We don't need to be getting this close to stuff. What I suspect happened was Chrome showed that it saved my settings but didn't when I scheduled it, and just left it on private. I've seen Chrome do that before, where it says that I've saved something like a password or a cookie or even some CAPTCHA websites that I have to go through. It will say, yeah, you're human, good, and then it will try to load. It says authentication failed, and then tries again. So and no, I don't believe there's any kind of rootkit or anything like that involved. So that's the only thing I can really speculate as to what actually happened. I'm willing to blame Chrome more than YouTube, because Chrome has done some really funky stuff in the past and has screwed up a lot of things. That's another thing, like kind of akin to mods a little bit, or like Chrome extensions. You got mods, or you got extensions that access parts of your computer you don't even know about. A lot of very dangerous downloads out there, and just make sure if you do download extensions for Chrome, make sure they're reputable. Make sure they've got a lot of good reviews. People say it's legit. The greater nerdum of the internet will be very quick to tell you if something is off. Something's off with the product. I think we're gonna use the. We'll probably use the Guardian Against Humanity here. This room, it's the only big room that I can see. So hoping that we get some money and as well as some soul hearts, but this is all predicated on us getting the petrified poop early. Now with us having lead pencil, that's going to help speed things up, and of course our tears rate is not great, but it's getting the job done. Here we go. Petrified poop, baby. Give me the gemstone crab has moved. Hey, man, people have been really clamoring to see some RuneScape content. I plan on doing, update videos and stuff on what I'm up to on RuneScape. I don't expect it to be a daily series or anything like that, but people said that they would love to see quests, or what do I do for, as a newbie, as a total newbie in RuneScape. Which, yeah, I will do that, but I'm not quite ready yet. I don't want to look too noobish, although I think that there's probably a very big portion of the mosh pit that would love to see the journey from the beginning. And maybe I can find the VOD on Twitch to chop up and send to Alex and stuff like that. So that little condensed video. We'll see. Again, the only apprehension is just the fact that non-Isaac videos do very, very iffy on my channel at best. I think it's being overly kind. People still asking me, what about He Is Coming? Are we going to see more of that? Are we going to see more Nine Kings? Yeah, they're all good games that I would love to play. It really kind of conveys to you better than words how broken the YouTube system is when it comes in regards to regular content versus content creators who are trying to branch out or switch or pivot or anything like that. And of course, I'm not pivoting away from Isaac. That'd be the death of the channel if I decided to do that. It would be actual career suicide. But outside of that, it comes down to it just comes down to how many people are going to unsub. As crappy as it sounds, it's collateral damage. Every non-Isaac's video that I put out, at least double-digit people unsub. Silly as it may seem, they're here. There's some people who only watch me purely for Isaac, and that is it. If it is anything else, they're gone. So which sucks as a creator, because it kind of boxes you into a certain game, but at the same time, I ain't gonna complain. If I absolutely hated Isaac and I never wanted to play, I'm just like, ugh, let's just get this over with, then you know, maybe it's time for a change, but I'm not there yet, despite what some people may think. I think that if I was going to hate it by now, I probably would have been out a while ago. We'll take small rock here. We gotta find the fool card. For some reason I thought it would be up here. There's absolutely no excuse for not making boss rush on this floor. So we need, and on top of that, we also, don't forget, we had Curse the XL, so we need to be able to get the value back that we lost by not having a first floor shop, not having a first floor secret room, blah, 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 blah. And I believe this video is coming out on the 7th, Thursday. So by this time, Patreon dues will have been paid and processed. And I should have, if I haven't yet, I'll do it by Friday. Made a post in regards to how do you gain access to the app for the beta testing and all the terms and conditions, all that stuff. It's basically just says, it puts everyone in the honor system. I will not share this URL with anybody. Even if you do, they're not going to be able to have access anyway, so there's no point. And, you know, Bryn Moore's done a fantastic job with everything involving the app. But security is also number one for us. We want to make sure that it is all triple, quadruple layered of security. So on top of making sure that people are their personal information or whatever, even email addresses are concealed and protected, we want to make sure that the logins and stuff are genuine and not being botted or anything. So that's the first stage is going to be our beta release, which is going to be the permanent beta access, which will eventually again morph into the permanent access of the mobile app. And then after that, we're going to be going on to the phase 2, which is going to be open to the public for people on browsers, where it will just be free signups and stuff. And again, the website's always going to be free no matter what. And you know, a programmer emailed me with concerns with that last statement. They said, you know, you say that the website's going to be free forever, but if you start getting a lot of people using the app all the time, that may not be wise, because the servers are going to, and the hosting is going to cost money. If something like that were to happen, we would have a big meeting about it and discuss, you know, how much am I going to make sure that the servers stay running. But I have faith. I have faith in the mosh pit. I have faith in some of the Isaac community in regards to people know hard work when they see it. People want to help out, and they're not going to go broke over it or anything. But you know, I think that if we just leave it as an open donation type deal, where if you want to help support costs, server costs, or whatever, then hey, it's there. But I will never require it. If I have to dip into my own funds to make sure that things are still running smoothly and stuff, that's fine. I mean, I truly don't know how much space or memory this app is going to be if we have, you know, hundreds if not thousands of users and stuff. So, but I understand the concern. You know, I do enjoy business, and these are all things that I have thought about. I don't know about that. We got Soy Milk 2020 here, and this run has been smoking. Despite literally a curse on every single floor but the 3rd floor, mind you. So second curse of the blind. I was fully expecting another XL floor, to be honest. Hoping that we get some kind of good tier effect here in the Angel deal or Devil deal, whichever one we end up getting. It's been a while since we've seen good old Soy Milk. Ready for a banger. Get our angel deal and the holy mantle. And we get the holy mantle. Back to back. Look at that. Hey, we got a uncurseless floor. See, all we had to do was just moan it in. The slot streamers say. They just got to complain about a bonus game not showing up. They just moaned it in. I've always liked business. I've always enjoyed investing. Has always been my favorite thing. Just one of my favorite pastimes is just investing, just putting money away and forgetting about it, leaving it there, let it do what it does. I like I like paying for my future. I like saving for, maybe one day we'll have a family. I don't know. Just prepared for whatever comes our way. I'm a man with a plan. I'm a man who likes to be prepared for as many scenarios as possible. And in business, there's a lot of what ifs. Give you an example. I decided that I wanted to splurge a little bit and get some fresh seafood. Nothing super crazy. I ordered a couple pounds of Atlantic cod, which are fresh frozen and then shipped via dry ice from a company. And I picked a date because I wanted to surprise Papa Victo with it. I got us a couple of lobster tails and a few pounds of Atlantic cod. And so you can select the date whenever you want it delivered, and bingo, bango, bongo, you got yourself a nice seafood meal for a couple days. Well, FedEx, in all of their amazingness and awesomeness, which I am very familiar with, having my own business for the cards and stuff, they decided that they just weren't going to deliver it. At the time of this recording, the package is still in Memphis, Tennessee, and the food is undoubtedly destroyed by now because it's late by a week, almost. Well, actually, it's exactly 1 week. So I contacted the company and said, "Hey, yeah, I never got what I ordered," and they said, "Oh no, how did that happen?" I'm like, "I don't know. You tell me." And so I had them investigate it, and they said, well, yeah, the fish is undoubtedly bad by now. And they're very apologetic. They're very, very nice and sincere, and I definitely 100% do not blame them at all. This is 100% FedEx's fault. So that's what I told the company. I said, "Hey, look, it was my first time buying from y'all, but this was not your problem. This was the product of someone else's fault. Neither of us are to blame for this. It's all squarely on FedEx." So they gave me a full refund and sincere apologies because it was my first time buying from them, and definitely it won't be my last. I mean, that's unfair to the business because it literally was not their fault. They did everything that they were contracted to do, which was pack the fish and send it. So. And they said that they filed a claim with FedEx, and again, that's out of my hands. So they gave me a refund. But it's just like that's one of those just business hiccups that come up to sometimes mail doesn't get delivered. Sometimes the person you're meeting doesn't show up for it or whatever. How in the world are we finding dead ends in this day and age, in this direction that we're going, given what the compass has shown us? You're telling me in order for us to go to northeast, we've got to go southeast. Is that what I'm hearing? And somehow the library wasn't connected to this keyhole of a map down here? Losing the plot, game. We need some more damage. Our tears rate obviously is going to be great because of soy milk. We need piercing shots. Aya Belial is always going to be king, in my opinion, for soy milk. I prefer Ayabelaya over Brimstone soy milk. It might be a little bit of a hot take now, and you know, you're talking to your boy who loves him some Brimstone, my favorite item of all time. But I will very readily and steadily admit that Brimstone soy milk is nowhere near as good as soy milk and Ayabelaya. There's just no way. The piercing shots, the follow through shots, all that stuff works so well with soy milks. Insane fire rate. You don't even need damage. You just need to have a good tier effect, and soy milk will do the rest. So this room is infinitely more annoying and harder without having piercing shots. Despite whatever our HP or whatever our damage says, we're doing 0 to a majority of them. And we get the ones that have the creep behind them, they actually move faster than the other ones, so they're even harder to hit from the side. And with us having very suboptimal movement speed, yeah. So I'm hoping that the dark room gives us a little bit of a hookup here. I haven't even talked about the jar, our active item that we started with, because it's that insignificant. There are some cases that you could. Whoa there, computer. Are you okay? Doing all right? Let's let you calm down for a second now. The only thing I got running is OBS and RuneScape. So, okay. Anything good? You gooch? Yeah. Anyway. Gotta hope that Lamb hooks us up with some good stuff here. The jar only being able to hold 4 hearts is kind of just so. Like I can get the same thing from blank card, lover's card. 4 hearts, woo. Give me just any other active item, and I'm there. It's that kind of item. The jar falls into the category that I feel a lot of people are in agreement with when it comes to Isaac balancing and stuff, which is that it's not good enough. It is not good enough to it's not good enough to use, and it also doesn't make sense. You know, I want items that make sense. I want items that have some kind of impact. They don't all have to be big time players, but I sure would like to have a little bit less frequent or quantities of the items that are just like, you know. That's what my overall hope is that we'll start seeing when it comes to Isaac balancing in the future. Wow. I don't know how that last one hit us when the other two didn't. Stayed in the same spot. Gunning everything down right now. Obviously getting Sin Robes and Victor Robes is a huge DPS increase, but what's even bigger of a damage increase, of course, is going to be Backstabber. Showing you that the power of soy milk is not done by damage. It is done by its ability to proc tier effects. And Backstabber absolutely goes insane with soy milk. And then we also have the double synergy of having lead pencil as well. So that's even more angles that we can hit there with our just keep on doing what we've been doing, which is just shooting. Listen to all those procs from Backstabber. I'm looking forward to getting to beta access for patrons. Thank you, everyone. We had a very, very healthy amount of new signups on Patreon. undoubtedly, because it was all $5 tier signups. Undoubtedly spurred on by the lifetime access to the mobile app if we ever end up doing it. Again, I still have not talked to Ed about it yet, because that'd be part of phase 3, which is after we make it public and stuff, and we have a good amount of handicaps and good amount of features in there that people are satisfied with. Then I want to present Ed with a fully realized done product, not just a we're going to plan on do this and this and this type thing. Another XL floor. Foxtrot Bravo, Foxtrot X-Ray, 7 X-Ray 9-2. The game is just trolling us at this point, as it always does. Look, game, you gave me soy milk, all right? I'm gonna take it easy and just wreck shop here. Small rock again. I'm gonna pass on small rock. I really don't think we need it. I don't know if those bones are real on there or not. Paper is not. Now look, I know I said talking about the proc rates of items and soy milk, but that doesn't mean that we just go start taking fruitcake, y'all. If Holy Mantle, which means that we get into curse rooms for free. 2 diamonds means that we have virtually unlimited money for the next foreseeable future. I'm not going to take the dice bag. I'm probably not going to use it at all, and I'm definitely not re-rolling this. So, reason why I'm fading the second small rock is because it doesn't really give us that much of a difference. Oh man, Parasitoid, however, small rock is not a second small rock is not as impactful as the first one on a run like this. Oh my gosh. We get another angel deal. I don't know why we're getting angel deals. I mean, Purgatory, sure, but we're not counting on you. Curse the Maze. Curse of the Corn. Another sort of feature, or I don't know what you would call it, plan, I guess, that I have in store for the randomizer app, and when I say app, I mean the website as well, just by extension. I just want to make that clear. They're not going to be separate entities. They're going to get the same updates no matter what. Another thing that I plan on doing is releasing handicap packs, which we probably need to call something a little bit different than that. We'll say challenge packs. I don't know if handicap packs are going to go too well with the marketing, but where we will essentially, what we'll do is we will release periodic updates for content. So we would release, ideally, I would love to do something like a weekly or maybe monthly update to add new challenges to the randomizer. That way we always get fresh, entertaining, fun challenges without them getting too stale. Once everyone beats a few of them, then we gotta figure out something else. So and I think that's going to really appeal to a lot of people as well. I hope so anyway. That's the hope. All of that kind of stuff will be totally free. We're never gonna charge for that stuff on the website. Now, mobile's different because I don't know how all that stuff works. We're in the process of educating ourselves on that. But I have a grand plan for the app and stuff. I want it to be just a hub where you can experiment with new challenges. You can expect to have fun with friends, and I've talked about it ad nauseum by now, but that's really the goal here is to have very community driven, you know. And there's gonna be a suggestions form. There's gonna be a you know, hey, I've got a great idea for a challenge. Where can I submit this? There's gonna be a form for that where we say submit your challenge ideas. And if we do end up picking it, then you know we'll give credit on the challenge. In the little blurb, we'll say submitted by, you know, Limiting Zero or somebody. Definitely don't need any more range, but might as well take it anyway. We're just absolutely cooking with this run. His tail. Keys have not been an issue on this run at all. In fact, we haven't had any issues on this run, to be honest. Except the curses, I guess. Obviously, we have Keeper Sack, so that's going to give us stats every time that we buy something. And it does get diminished a little bit whenever we do take Steam Sale, but to me, it's still worth it, in my opinion, because taking a Steam Sale means that you can buy a greater quantity of items, which ultimately translates to more stats that you can get, as opposed to things being bigger stat increases, but you don't have enough money, can't buy nearly enough money or nearly enough items from the shop at a premium cost without any sort of discount at all, versus having a 50% off. Yeah, we don't need any more HP game. I guess we'll take the Paschal Candle. A weird spot for the item room. Even weirder spot for the shop. The Paschal Candle is going to give us a temporary tiers upgrade, even with soy milk, for every room that we don't take damage in, up to a certain cap. And it stacks beautifully with soy milk. I think it's going to make me go this way, isn't it? Nope. Okay, it was just gas. I've been kind of iffy on Little Horn lately. It's okay with soy milk. The thing is here's the problem that I have with Little Horn. And it's due to Bighorn's ability to kind of slap things away. I realize that's how it does its damage, obviously, but look. It still knocks things around and jostles them. And we talked about this with the Parasite yesterday in Cricket's body. Where, you know, it's not great for the game to just move stuff randomly. So that's more of a Sinvicta beef with Little Horn than anything else. Absolutely take Blood Clot here. Blood Clot cooks with having soy milk just because of the alternating shots. So it's essentially just a big damage upgrade we get. Even Yellow Champion Chub cannot hold up to all this huge amount of pressure that we're putting on with our damage here. I'm just gonna use Mama Mega. I'm just gonna use Mama Mega. We already blew up our donation machine. We get Black Candle, thank God for that. Stars Car, so we can teleport out if we really needed to, but I think that we're just gonna mollywop the boss rush and just be done with that. I did watch the first 2 episodes of the King of the Hill reboot, and I was very happy. I was very satisfied as a longtime King of the Hill fan and supporter of Mike Judge. I think that it was done it was done as well as it could have been, given the circumstances of everyone losing, you know, the voice actors for Dale and John Redcorn and stuff. So, and I think Mike Judge did an awesome job at maintaining that feel of the Hills, especially Hank, but in a post 2020 world. And the last time we saw the Hills was a long, long time ago. Eden's Blessing, neither one of these really matter, but I don't think we're tiers capped yet. Yeah, we are not. But Eden's Blessing is not going to matter for tomorrow's video. We will not get a second item, because it was on a victory lap. But it was done very well, and I highly recommend it. Episode 1, I'm not going to spoil anything. Episode 1 goes exactly by the book as you would expect a newly revived series to do. A lot of catching up with characters, no real introductions, and just solid we're back, baby type thing. And episode 2 is phenomenal. Episode 2 is so good. And I know that Hulu has the entire series or season 14 already out, and it's great to hear that the reboot's already gotten confirmed for multi seasons too, which is great. So the animation style, it is a little bit jarring for any of you out there who is a longtime King of the Hill watcher or rerun watcher. It takes a little getting used to seeing the whole Family Guy CGI type deal. With the smoothness of the animation, that kind of stuff, that can turn off some people. I'm not a snob about it, but it definitely feels a little less of a... That works directly against keeping the overall feel of the original show, because it just looks different. You know, Hank and Peggy move different ways. Everyone's lip syncing is too perfect type deal. You know. It doesn't have any of that jank from Mike Judge cartoons and stuff that we all know and love. So that can be a little bit of a negative. Do I want C-section? Nah. Daggum crab moved on me again, man. Oh, talking about that dang old gemstone crab, man. I gotta be grinding out this little attack level and stab, chop type thing, man. Talking about XP, man. Yo. I think that the old Khan voice actor, forgive me for not knowing his name, who is now doing the voice of Dale Gribble, I think he did about as good of a job as anyone could hope for. It sounds a little bit like Dale, but you can very easily tell like it's not Dale, and I think that no one would ever be fooled by that, or it's unrealistic to expect a voice actor to come in and sound exactly like Dale. Same thing for John Redcorn. He sounds, there's essence of John Redcorn there, but it's certainly noticeable that it is not voice actor. I will say that I did see a preview. I don't know what episode this is coming in, but I did see a preview of Khan and his new voice, and that is the most weird one to me. That's the most jarring one, because it sounds nothing like the original Khan. Hank's Laotian neighbor. Now they did maintain the original voice actress for Min, Khan's wife, and she sounds great. She sounds exactly like she used to, but it's really funny because the new Khan voice actor sounds like someone who is not Asian, but actually is. And that's the greatest irony of it all. Sounds like someone who is not Asian trying to fake an Asian voice. And it's very weird, very weird because the new voice actor for Khan is actually Chinese. So it's, or maybe they're Laotian. I'm not sure, but they're of Asian descent. And that one was weird to me. Bobby obviously has the same voice actress, and she does a phenomenal job, of course. It's honestly, I think that the King of the Hill reboot is less about Hank and Peggy and mostly about Bobby. At least that's how they're kind of leaning, it seems, right now towards it. A lot of focus on Bobby and what he's been doing, and you know, there's many different examples of the show not wanting to tell you but showing you that he's a grown man now, and it's really cool. I love seeing that Bobby still cares for his parents a lot. Like he's turned into that son that you would expect Hank to be proud of, and you know, Bobby's very hands-on with his parents and cares about him, and still kind of butts heads with Hank, but in a more grown-up sort of way and more realistic way. And you know, it's good. I give a solid out of the first 2 episodes that I've seen so far. I give the King of the Hill reboot a solid 8.7. And that score may go up or down depending on you know, the rest of the season, but I imagine it's only going to get better. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's not like we need money or anything. You just buy all this stuff up. Remember, we do have Keeper Sack, so all this stuff is going to work in our favor. Yep. The red key is charged. I don't think it's possible to get an ultra secret room in the blue womb. Let's go put down old Hushy. Hushy. Obviously we have Star of Bethlehem here. That's gonna help us out greatly. Not that we need it, of course, but it's nice to have. You know, it's like, hey, you know what? Thanks for coming anyway. You weren't invited to the party, but we're glad you showed up. The party is now complete. I don't know where these shots are coming from, and I don't know how they're still firing, but go off. What is going on with these tiers, man? Why are they still persisting? Hush shot those a long time ago. Guess he's being slowed by parasitoids, the only thing I can think of. Now's the time when I wish I had piercing shots and shielded tears. Just listen to the proc rate of yeah, why can't I think of the name of it now? Why am I blanking on that item now all of a sudden? My brain is done. Parasitoid, God. I don't know why that took so long. And listen to the proc rate of Parasitoid. It was going nuts there. That's on top of all the backstabber procs that we're getting, and of course the increased DPS that we're being granted thanks to Star of Bethlehem. What a run, though! What a run! I think that you know, it was a good, nice rambling episode here. We got to see Soy Milk. Show you, just look at this. Look at the cascade of tears that we're firing at Isaac. Especially when they have the homing of Star of Bethlehem. It's so good. Oh man, I mean, Soy Milk continues to prove time and time again just how incredible it is at taking down enemies and proccing tier effects and all that kind of stuff. You know, let's go fight Mega Stan. I don't know why Star Bethlehem decided to come in here, but here we are. I'm probably going to skip Delirium today. I don't think that we need to. We don't need to beat him. We've already beaten him. The bosses have been a formality for quite some time now. Let's put it that way. As far as the challenge run from last Sunday goes, we must open all locked chests and doors. Obviously, I failed that one without realizing it by floor 2. And I've talked to Bryn Mawr about doing away with those kind of ambiguous challenges. It's very conditional to make a player who's played the game forever remember that, oh, you got to unlock that library door you saw or that arcade door or something like that, even though that one technically didn't involve a key. And we're going to do a pass on all the challenges to make sure that kind of stuff is not in the randomizer, because I want the challenges to be very straightforward, nothing left up to interpretation, and no house rules are gonna have to come into play. So we're gonna be continuing to improve on that. As you saw, I fell victim to missing it just because of just force of habit. So, and that's gonna happen, of course. You don't have to be too hard on yourself, but obviously I think that with a more streamlined and straight to the point type challenge system, you're gonna see the accuracy levels of that improve. Less stuff for people to get upset about, that hopefully drastically decrease, and all that stuff. So thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this awesome run. If you did, make sure you click the like button, leave a comment down below. Have a great start to your Thursday. And as always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks to patrons of mine like Alacran19, Chronic Shadow, and Carlos Ibanez. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find over at patreon.com/Invicta.